Hi, I'm Dr. Mike DiTolla, and I'd like to welcome you to Passion for Perfection, a German Obsession, sponsored by VHF, whose dental and laboratory mills are German designed, engineered, and built. Apple CEO Tim Cook enlisted a German company to design and build all the furnishings for Apple's world headquarters remodeling project in Cupertino. When asked why he chose a German company, Cook simply said, "There is nothing in the world like German craftsmanship." Now it's time for a segment we like to call Germansplaining. Germans have taken partying to a level most countries can only dream of. Here in the U.S., we have the 4th of July where we get together, barbecue, and blow stuff up. We also have completely different holidays, 3-day weekends like Memorial Day and Labor Day where we get together, barbecue, and blow stuff up. But Germany has Oktoberfest. Is it a 3-day weekend? At 16 to 18 days, their festival is longer than the 2 weeks of paid vacation Americans get for the entire year. Oktoberfest is the world's largest festival, running from mid or late September to the first Sunday in October. It's held annually in Munich, with more than 6 million people from around the world attending the event yearly since the first one back in 1810. And if that weren't obsession enough, only beer that is brewed within the city limits of Munich with a minimum of 6% alcohol can be called Oktoberfest beer. And last year's Oktoberfest, 6.7 million liters of beer were served. Is that a lot? I mean, it sounds like a lot, but I really don't know what a liter is. This is one of those times where it's so inconvenient to be American. We barely know one language, and we definitely don't know the metric system unless we're a drug dealer. Ooh, I have an idea. Hey Siri, how many 12-ounce beers are there in 6.7 million liters of beer?
Hello, American. There are 21.7 million 12-ounce beers in 6.7 million liters.
That is an insane amount of beer to be served at one festival. Well done, Germany. You've won that round. And now it's time for another installment of Phenomenal Now Conversations. See what we did there? Where we get to talk with the leaders in digital dentistry. We are lucky enough to have another one of the leaders in digital dentistry with us today. It's Dr. Alan Jurim. Alan is the director of digital dentistry at the Touro College of Dental Medicine. But what I find even more fascinating, Alan, is that before you went to dental school at NYU, you went to undergrad at RPI, which I only knew as having, it was this engineering school that would be impossible for me to get in, yet they had this incredible hockey team. And I was into hockey, so I always knew that RPI had this hockey team. Tell me a little bit. It sounds like you weren't probably considering dentistry when you went to RPI.
Yeah, so I grew up in the background of the dental laboratory industry, and my father was a master dental ceramist and family business. My mother also worked in the laboratory. And so growing up in the background of the laboratory, I spent a lot of time seeing that part, and I loved technology, and RPI was a great mix for me because there I can pursue my passion in technology and really what I love to do, which is build and to kind of connect the dots and try to invent.
And it's funny, and I guess I should say for viewers who don't know, it's the Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, a very well-respected engineering school, but doesn't spit out a lot of dentists per se, like on a year-to-year basis. But it's funny that you did that. You took this interesting path with the dental laboratory background, then the engineering training, because you came into dentistry, and certainly right now it feels like we're seeing this blend of the need for engineering and technology and blending all these together. Like if you would have graduated from dental school when I did back in 1988, you probably would have looked at, we barely had a curing light, and you probably would have been bored and gone into engineering. Is this part of what you like, is blending together technology with patient care and being able to put these all together to ultimately help the patient?
Absolutely. I mean, I think one of the best parts of digital dentistry is how we can connect the dots of our workflow. And what I found the most, appealing and the most promising in the dentistry that we provide our patients is how we're always able to optimize the process and make the experience for the patient better and ultimately make the quality of care better. So that's been a real great part of just how we've been able to adopt the technology and kind of bring that in to the forefront and really ultimately make the care of our patients better. That's what we're really looking for.
And I know you told me before that that doesn't happen overnight, that it's nice to have goals, but at this point you have a dedicated room where the new patients come in, and all new patients get a full intraoral scanning in addition to the perio charting and a complete exam. But at that time of the full scanning, they get to see everything, probably see their teeth, for the first time, way beyond what we could with an intraoral camera. But you said it was a process over the years to make that part of your workflow. Tell me a little bit about the workflow itself when you're doing restorative dentistry. I know that you, like me, really like 3Shape Trio scanners in that environment. Tell me a little bit about how your digital workflow actually works.
So our workflow with our patients begins with education. As we scan our patients in our Trio scan room, where we capture the most important data, which is the first visit with the patient, we use that as a way to help us educate ourselves as the clinicians for the patient, and use that as a tool to educate the patients. When it does come time for restorative workflows, let's say the patient does need an onlay or a crown restoration, the technology allows us, and the workflows that we use allow us to really predictably design and produce a restoration that we know is going to be the best for that patient, both with form and function and with time requirements, and of course with the final result of precision. So we use the technology as a way to help us digitize the patient. We use the technology to help provide a custom restoration for the patient, and then we use our machines like the VHF Z4 in order to produce a same-day restoration for that patient while not compromising anything along the lines of quality, time, or the quality of their care, really.
VHF is very proud of their open architecture that they have and their CAM software. So it sounds like you're scanning with 3Shape and then probably designing in Design Studio and then exporting to the Z4 mill. How does that all work? You've got we used to think that you had to have everything from the same company if it was ever going to work together. But with this new era of open architecture, how does this work for you? Is it a streamlined workflow?
It's a wonderful workflow, and I grew up in dentistry, where I saw, when we had to link different parts of technology in the laboratory, it was a broken system. We would have to import, export, and ultimately what that would do is it would add a lot of time and complexity. And people like me who have a background in technology, we're able to navigate through that. But as we want to have this technology work for other clinicians in our practice, it's how that is linked is the most important part. How we do the design and how we're able to take that design and predictably send it to the milling machine. And with the trusted connection between 3Shape and VHF, that link is built into this open architecture system. And it's a trusted link, meaning it's a trusted connection. And we know that in order for the design to be sent to the mill, it's going to be predictable, and what comes out of the machine we know is going to drop into the patient's mouth. It's going to fit the way we want without the possibility for us to have to, touch it up or kind of improve, So it's a really, really great link, this trusted connection that allows that process to happen flawlessly.
I just assume that every manufacturer must know that if you're using their product, you're probably going to take it apart and look at it and see how it works and maybe put it back together again. And you've got this super cool office network setup where you've got this main computer, your server, that's too heavy to move around. It's in a closet. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like all your operatory computers are able to emulate that one, and everything gets scanned to that. So literally all you have to do, instead of any of the hardware, you're just taking the scanner from room to room to room to do your scans. It sounds like it's made dentistry just in general way more efficient for you guys.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been really heavily focused in digital dentistry, originally in the laboratory to bring our laboratory into the digital realm, and of course with our practice. Both my sister and I started our practice as partners in 2010, and in 2012 we began that process of scanning every patient every time. And what we've learned is now and this has evolved, it's not really the question, should we scan every patient? It's a question of how fast can we scan our patients and how efficient is that process? Because the data that we record, the information that doesn't change over time, is incredibly valuable, especially in the future. as more artificial intelligence comes into the realm of dentistry. So all of this information that we capture, we know of its importance. For us, it's all about the efficiency and how fast we can capture it. From the time I prescribe that scan with one of my assistants or myself, the time it takes us to set up to capture the scan and to then complete the scan, it's all about minimizing the amount of time. And that's really what I like to focus on, the digital dental systems I develop, to enhance.
That's fantastic. You're probably not old enough to remember the TV show The Partridge Family, but they had this bus they traveled in and it had their pictures on the side of it. And it reminded me of your Z4 mill, because your mill actually has your picture on one side and your sister's picture on the other side. I'm guessing you didn't do that yourself. Tell me about what you had to do to end up with this customized mill where every patient who comes in goes, he's on the side of the mill, he must know what he's doing.
So, I have a wonderful relationship with VHF. It's been a very, fruitful. It's been a fantastic relationship. And VHF honored me with putting some decals of both myself and my sister on the side of the mill. And what's really interesting about that is part of our process in the office is not to just talk about digital dentistry with the patients, but we actually show patients how we actually produce the digital restorations that get delivered to them. So as we go on a quick tour of our office and we do show them the technology and the printers and the milling machines, it is kind of a nice availability to show them, hey, look, I love this machine. And in fact, I've been honored to have my face on the side of it. And so patients get a kick out of it. And I think it helps bring up the conversation about what the machine can really do for us.
I heard a rumor, you'll have to confirm whether or not this is true, that you put a decal of yourself, of your face, on the lingual of every crown that you mill. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if their tongue is playing with it. It drives them crazy. But I would like to see a smile where you did 8 and 9 on a patient, had you and your sister's faces on the front. And have that be a little direct marketing for you guys. Well, Alan, thank you so much for taking a couple minutes to spend with us today. It was fascinating. You're the first dentist I know of that's got so much background in engineering, and I think it speaks well for the companies who you've chosen to work with, because you definitely know the engineering and you definitely know what kind of workflow is going to be the best. So thank you again for spending a few minutes with us.
I really appreciate the time. Thank you guys very much. It's been wonderful.
Take care. Passion for Perfection is brought to you by VHF, designed, engineered, and built in Germany. VHF takes their motto seriously, creating perfection. Their obsession with creating the perfect machines, tools, and software is to enable their customers to pursue creating clinical perfection for their patients. Their open system allows you or your dealer to pair your VHF mill with the best scanner for your practice. And by manufacturing the mills and the tools themselves, and always including CAM software at no additional charge, VHF allows clinicians to own a state-of-the-art complete CAD/CAM system at about half the cost of other popular CAD/CAM solutions in the market. Go to VHF.com to see how you can begin creating perfection too. Well, that'll wrap it up for this episode. So on behalf of myself, Practice Passion, and VHF, how about we shut the front door and start milling?